All right, everybody, how are we doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Robbie Basel Show. I'm calling this like a week review edition because I didn't have the episode on Tuesday. I've been very busy. So, yeah, apologies for no episode on Tuesday. Apologies for not really like letting anyone know there wasn't a video on Tuesday. Listen, stuff happens. Uh, so the upcoming schedule for this show, it's actually going to get very interesting. So today's episode, we have a lot to talk about. MLB Free Agency, there's been a couple of recent moves. We'll talk about the Champions League, a lot of Champions League stuff today. The Premier League, of course, we have to talk about that. And Formula One, which we didn't get to talk about on Tuesday because, once again, there was no video on Tuesday. And there's been a lot of news on that regard. So the upcoming videos, what I do know, and also, by the way, pretty soon, I don't know the exact start date of this. Mock drafts will be coming out on the Instagram. I don't know if I'm going to do videos of it, but they will be out on the Instagram starting, I believe, the end of this month, but I'm not 100% sure. There's no guaranteed start date for that. But I will do them pretty soon, probably after break, but listen, I don't know. So this week we have today's video, which is a big recap video. Pretty soon we have March Madness. I'll be doing a video there on this channel, breaking down every bracket, your sleepers, all that fun stuff. That's gonna be one video. Then I'm gonna have an MLB season preview. I think like the week afterwards. MLB season preview video, March 26th. It's gonna probably be then. I'm gonna try and get a guest. Let me know in the comments or DM me if you want to be a guest for that video. I have people in mind, but once again, I don't know. I also I asked a question about the NFL draft. The probable plan is that I'm going to try and get it on WIUR for Thursday, and then I'm going to stream on here for Friday. That's likely going to be the plan, but I honestly, right now, don't know. Because the second day, which is April 26th, I think we're going to do a double stream on Thursday on WIUR, and then Friday is gonna be with me on this show. So that's the plan. It's gonna be a stream, of course, because you can't do it. I think doing it in two-part stream. Let me know. I will break down most of the picks, what's going on. I'm not gonna have graphics because I don't know how to work graphics on here, but that's just a possibility as well. Nothing's fully official yet. We're still trying to get some plans out with WIUR in case we're even doing the draft at all. It's likely we're doing the draft, but once again, I'm still trying to figure that out with my whole team. So it's a team effort. I'll talk to the guys about it. I got asked about it yesterday. We're trying to get that plan out. But yeah, we have MLB season preview, March Madness preview. Those are going to be, I believe, the 18th. I have the wrong month. One's going to be at the 19th, and the following one will be the 26th. So listen, a lot to watch out for at the end of this month. Regular episodes till then, but it's gonna be chaos. A lot of fun's gonna be going. A lot of fun topics to talk about. I might be going to the MAC tournament next week, so there'll be a video recorded on Monday for Tuesday. So if I miss Tuesday news, I don't know what to say to you. But yeah, let's get straight into it. We have MLB. We're gonna talk about the combine later because probably during one of the, if I ever do episodes for like mock drafts and stuff. I'll probably do on the mock draft videos, but not today because there's so much to talk about and so much that I missed. We have the Premier League, it's chaos. The Champions League is chaos. But today we are starting with none of those things because we're not a usual channel here. You know the vibes. It's week review. We have to talk about last weekend in Formula One. Of course, that's what we're starting with. Because what else would I start with? Because that's what we ended with last week. So here is what's happened. For those who have been living under a rock or don't care about Formula One or did not see Bahrain, here is a quick 30-second to 1-minute recap of this race. As soon as I get everything pulled up, and while I get my final notes pulled up and everything else pulled up, make sure to like the video, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're hoping to get closer and closer to 50 subscribers. We haven't gotten a couple of subscribers in a while, so I know a lot of you like just watch the videos, but hey, it'd be really appreciated if you guys hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. God, I sound like a YouTuber now. That's not what we're trying to do on this channel. Damn it. I haven't done that before, and I told myself that I was not gonna laugh when I did it, and what did I do? I laughed when I did it. Perfect. This is not scuffed at all. So let's go to Bahrain. So what happened? So we knew what qualifying was like. Verstappen got pole. We knew he was probably gonna win it. Leclerc, Russell, Sainz, Perez. You know the deal. So what happened in the race? Well, Max did Max things, and he blew everyone out to Kingdom Come. There's a lot of teams that I want to talk about for this, but we'll start from the bottom. Sargent had some car problems, I believe, so he was in dead last. The Alpine is really concerning me. We heard about my F1 season predictions from that was actually the last video. I forgot that was my last video. Was my F1 season predictions, and well, Alpine are off to a terrible start. They went 17th and 18th. We'll talk about their race from Saudi Arabia in a little bit, or they're qualifying for Saudi Arabia because the race is tomorrow. Then we went with Hulkenberg, a poor day from Albon. He finished 15th. Daniel Ricciardo was the better one of the Visa Cash App RB cars. He was in a cool 13th. Magnussen, a surprising 12th. Then Zhou Guanyu, who almost got a point, which fair play to Zhou Guanyu. Then we had Stroll and Alonso, the two Aston Martins. Piastri, then Hamilton, Norris, Russell, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, and Verstappen. What were the big things that I realized from this race? One, Verstappen's ridiculous. This car is crazy. You would think he was sandbagging a little bit during like qualifying or whatever, but no, that's not what happened. That car's race pace is just outrageous. And Verstappen, and then Perez proved it on later as well. So fair play to those two, because Perez qualified 5th, finished 2nd. Verstappen qualified 1st, finished 1st. The concerns, I see that in the Ferrari car because you saw a lot of locking up from Charles Leclerc. And Leclerc was locking up a ton, especially in turn 1. That annoying downhill turn, left-hander. I forgot what turn it is, which leads you into sector 2. That turn is I don't even remember. I think it's sector 2. He had a lot of trouble on that corner. He got overtaken by Sainz in that specific corner. I'm just drawing a blank on what the number was. But all in all, the race wasn't that exciting. I almost fell asleep. I did fall asleep for about a lap or so at points. But listen, the Red Bulls look great. Ferrari looks solid. Carlos Sainz finished in 3rd. Fair play to Carlos Sainz. More on him later because something happened yesterday that will change a lot for the race tomorrow. The team I'm looking out for was McLaren. They actually got a double points finish. They did not have any points scored here last year. So fair play to them. They got 6th and 8th. And a track that doesn't really suit them at all. So can the McLarens be a dark horse for P2 in the constructors? Okay. But, Hamilton didn't look great. He finished in 7th. Russell finished in 5th, but way behind the Ferrari. So if you think about it, I really think early on, I got to find my predictions. Because I don't remember what my constructors' predictions were. Because I don't think they were very good. My constructors' predictions, I had Mercedes in 4th. So I think possible Ferrari McLaren flip off the jump, but Charles Leclerc put it an okay performance. We'll talk about his qualifying in a minute from today. But yeah, Verstappen did his job. Race sucked, and that's that. And now we will head to Saudi, which was the qualifying was today because, of course, due to like Ramadan. I think it's Ramadan. Is it Ramadan, like, in a week or so? Am I bugging out and thinking Ramadan's the wrong holiday? I just want to make sure I'm accurate with this stuff, Like, some of you, I've gotten this before. First night of Ramadan is Monday. So, in respect to the holiday, they had these races on Saturdays. And today's qualifying was, interesting. And you'll probably, if you look on the list, see no Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz has appendicitis. He is out for the race. He is replaced by Ollie Behrman, who, for those who have not known who Ollie Behrman is, he raced in F2. He's very solid, very young. Let me just pull up how young he is. Actually, he's not that young. I'm thinking of somebody else. Oh no, he is. He's 18. I literally just thought of somebody else. He's 18. He's younger than me. Just for perspective, he's 11 months younger than me. So yeah, he steps in for Carlos Sainz. And if you look at his FP3 times, just for comparison, he finished in 10th. Like the inexperience, he's not showing that much inexperience. Probably because he's been a reserve driver. He drove in a Haas, I think, last year. But man, he looked okay today, man. So here's what happened. So Zhou Guan Yu in FP3 crashed, and he did not get a lap in for qualifying. So he's in the back of the grid, followed by Sargent, Gasly, and Ocon are 17th and 18th again. So Alpine in the bin. We will see. Bottas barely missed out in the next round. Then it was Hulkenberg who DNF'd. He get some car problems in Q2. Then Daniel Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, and then Ollie Behrman. Stroll, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen. The surprise cars, I mean, you shouldn't be surprised that Aston Martin's qualifying well. It's Alonso in the car. And I'm surprised about actually, I'm really not, because Piastri was better than Norris here last year, so that's just a thing to note. The surprise in the in Q3 was Hamilton doing that bad. I didn't think he'd be this far off the pace. To be fair to him, though, it's tough to beat Max when he went on an absolutely insane lap, but he was about 7/10 off, give or take, so that feels actually quite close together, but you would think Hamilton would have done better. Tsunoda and Stroll's car was off, I think, at the back end of qualifying, and then Tsunoda shouldn't even have been here to begin with. If Sainz was here, I don't think Tsunoda gets in. Or Stroll, or both, who knows, but at the end of the day, that's our grid. My predictions for the race. P1, Verstappen. I don't think anyone's shocked by this. P2, I like that pace of the Aston Martin. I think it could surprise. I don't have it in second. I'm going with Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Leclerc as my front four. Norris is going to beat Piastri. And then Piastri's going to finish at sixth. I don't think a lot's going to happen in this race. I think it could be a lot of team swaps. The surprise here, I think, is going to be Behrman. I think he gets a point. I'm serious. I think with the way he drives an F2 car, if he could translate it over, I think he's going to be the shocker of this race. I have him possibly finishing in P9, guys. He's a driver to watch for the future. I thought he was going to sign with the team this year, but he's still young. He's a lot of potential. Future world champion Ferrari when Hamilton leaves? I mean, heck, I think he could possibly sign for a team next year with how much swapping around there's going to be. So, Behrman, I think, is the surprise. Albon, I think, has a chance to surprise a little bit as well. I'm not expecting a lot from Stroll and Tsunoda. So, 9th and 10th, I think, is where the door really opens. Heck, Hamilton only qualified for Q3 by 36,000. I think it's 36 thousandths of a second better than Behrman. So, he almost beat a 7-time world champ. Just saying off the rip. But the other surprise news from Formula One this week was Verstappen to Mercedes. What? You can't keep a straight face when you say half of this news. Verstappen apparently has had some troubles with Horner, or his dad has had troubles with Horner, so apparently Max now has to pick. Let's look at the news. Let's try and decipher the news of Max Verstappen to Mercedes. So Horner said today, actually we'll talk about Horner later. So to start, this was from, I think, a couple of days ago, where Lewis, we all know he's going to Ferrari next year. But Max Verstappen's on the list for Mercedes. They search possible replacements for Lewis Hamilton for the team in 2025, but doubts the Dutchman he would give up driving for Red Bull to begin with. Now, Max, who has won 29 of the last 34, he is there till 2028. I don't see him leaving. for now, because we all know, if you've paid attention to Formula One, you know the Christian Horner situation. He was basically let off the hook, like nothing's happening to him. And I think that's going to cause some problems with Max's dad. And I think that's where the situation is at, because I don't. This is the part where I just don't know. I mean, this is where it gets fun. So Max's dad then was talking to Mercedes, and now then here comes the links and all that. So right now, I don't think really anything's gonna happen. I think Max is gonna live till the 2028 end of the 2028 with Red Bull. He's gonna be the greatest driver ever with Red Bull. I don't see it happening any other way. I don't. I mean, the links to Mercedes, I don't think he would drive for a worse car unless the stuff with Horner and his family are that bad. I don't know. But what he has done, though, he's trying to separate himself from the links, as per this ESPN article. So he's stayed away from talking about it, which is smart. He's handling it well. But the fact that this is even a possibility is outrageous. So Max and Mercedes, I doubt it's going to happen, but it's possible, okay? The links and all that, I think it's very possible. So that's your Formula One update. Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about this too. Possible NHL talks next week. Almost forgot about that. So we're going to save the Prem for a minute, because we have some MLB free agency news, I believe, since the last time we talked. So last time we were here, we did not get to talk about Matt Chapman signing with the Giants, which fair play to Matt Chapman. I think it's a great move for the Giants. They're going to probably be in on Snell and company. So yeah, it's a good move. It's one that the Giants needed to make. But what we really know is that at the end of the day, Scott Boras is an idiot. I think that's the best way you could put it. Because, I mean, let's look at the recent signings. So, last time we were here, the big signing, and I don't even think I got to talk about this one, was Bellinger. We talked about Cody Bellinger. He's a big signing. We talked about it on Insta the Stands a lot. Then the Cardinals signed Crawford, which made no sense, but here we are. And then the big one now is Matt Chapman, and now there's the hot stove seating up for Snell and Montgomery. I think Montgomery to Boston is going to happen. The Red Sox, who just extended Bryson Bello, right after Into the Stands I think it was right after the show on Wednesday. They extended Bello, great contract, with a big club option at the end of it. What we're really focusing on right now is players like Blake, like the Blake Snells of the world, who it's still shocking that he hasn't signed. The other interesting one from today was Ryan Stanek. He signed, I believe, with the Mariners. I feel like that's a pretty decent move for the Mariners. They need bullpen help. They got bullpen help. You have your Jordan Montgomerys, JD Martinez. Jorge Soler also signed with the Giants recently, so that's another good move. But right now, it's going to have to pick up it's now or never for Snell and Montgomery. Someone has to sign one of them. It's really disappointing. Like I said the last time we talked about them, I talked about on Into the Stands that Snell doesn't go deep into games. He has only gone over 160 innings twice in his career, and it was barely over that margin. So the fact of the matter is very simple. They have to sign. I think Montgomery goes first. Snell I think is going to have to still wait. But this is the problem with having Scott Boras and his clients now recently. They're demanding too much when they're demanding way more than their market value, and no one's willing to sign for players more than their market value. So, listen, when you have people like that, they just have to wait it out and wait for the values to go down, and then you pounce on the first chance you get. It's really how the teams work with this stuff nowadays. When do I think one of them signs? I really think one of them signs before the next. No, it would have been. I think both of them have to sign before the next Into the Stands episode, which for those who don't know is a week from Wednesday because we have off next week. So it's spring break next week. It's going to be great. You will see episodes from my house, of course. My dorm's closed. So Yeah, just giving an update on that. Okay, I just making sure I didn't get something specific, but yeah, MLB free agency is gonna have to heat up because there's not a lot of time left. Spring training is going on. Opening day is 20 days away, ladies and gentlemen. It's. I think it's like. I think it's. What was it? No, it's less than that. I think it's like 19 days away or something crazy. I don't know, but it was. It's like 1 day less. It's 20 days away. Yes, so I did have my number right. It's 20 days away. They have to sign quick. So now on to the main stuff of today's episode. Let's recap the Prem from last week. So I didn't get to talk about it at all, but the Prem, let's talk over the big results from the Prem from last week. And I'll be honest, there are some pretty interesting results that we have to talk about. So we'll start it off with Brentford drawing Chelsea, which makes no sense because Brentford, who are stuck in 15th, they still have a chance to get relegated. But it's a good point for Brentford. Chelsea, who are going to have a great chance now to be a bottom half team despite being Chelsea, are in a crossroads. Despite them having a better goal difference than West Ham and Manchester United, they're stuck in 11th. Chelsea, I just don't know about them. I don't know what they need to do. They're my flop of the year because I had them going so high. But their next match, we'll talk about their match upcoming. It's on Monday. Then they have an FA Cup tie, so they actually have to reschedule a game against Arsenal at the Emirates. So that's a very crucial game that needs to be changed around. After that tie with Arsenal, that matchup with Arsenal, they only have 2 games left against I see as really good teams. You're talking about Aston Villa away and Manchester United at home. Is Manchester United first? That's on April 4th, and Aston Villa away on the 27th. So, and then but you sprinkled in there though. You have Brighton, but they play Sheffield, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Burnley. They have a very easy schedule to end the year, so it's very possible that they rise up the table a little bit. The issue is that sprinkled in there are trap games. Brighton away, trap game. West Ham, trap game. You didn't even see it at the end of the year with Bournemouth because Bournemouth's doing good just because why the hell not? They're in 13th. That's pretty much right where I had them. I think I had them. Did I have them in 13th? You see, this is what you don't remember. Like, Brighton. The Seagulls, weird bunch. I'll just talk about Brighton real quick. Brighton, a weird team. Like you don't know what you're going to get from them. And, well, now you're having that problem because if you look at my Premier League predictions, I had Bournemouth in 16th. So they could possibly be sliding at the end of the year. We'll see. But match overall. Let me talk about the match now. Back at 4th, very balanced. Brentford had good chances, and so did Chelsea, but they ends in a 2-2 draw. The aforementioned Brighton went out and lost to Fulham. West Ham beat Everton. Newcastle beat Wolves. We had Tottenham beat Crystal Palace. That's an expected result. Then we had the 2 controversial results of Saturday. Now, it was Liverpool who waited till the 99th minute, extremely late, to grab 3 points against Nottingham Forest. Did Forest get robbed? Possibly. But I didn't see enough, and to be fair, they got out XG by a country mile. Like, it's 22 shots to 8. Forest were even lucky to be in this game to begin with, but it's 3 points or 3 points. They didn't have a player who played extremely well. Their highest match rating was a 7.6, and the guy got subbed out too. But you didn't get good performances from Origi, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Anthony Elanga. No one really did anything. Now, they had the sub on Taiwo Awoniyi. I don't know what his problem is, but he hasn't done anything. Didn't do anything in this match since he came on. When they went on for full attacking, he replaced Origi, but he didn't really do much on the opposite side. A lot of stuff I liked and a lot of stuff I didn't like. The good players Of course, you talk about the substitution of Darwin Núñez, who came on for Harvey Elliott. I think I like Harvey Elliott. He just needs a little bit more time. Diaz played okay. Actually, no, he replaced Gakpo, who's been I thought I was getting my players mixed up. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. You had Soboslai come on. He was okay. McAllister was man of the match on FootMob in terms of rating. He had 8.4. He had the assist for the goal for Núñez. Liverpool went out and won. Liverpool are top of the league by 1 point over Man City, 2 points over Arsenal. Man, I love this title race. It's so fun. It's great to see. Aston Villa almost sold to Luton, but Luton, again, can't get a result at home. Another 1-goal loss at home for Luton. They are now starting to get really frustrating. Let's break this down. Okay. Luton Town have 1-goal losses at home to United, Aston Villa, Arsenal. Let me find some other ones that would be really fun. Chelsea, City, and their only point against a big team at home was Liverpool. They drew Liverpool, but keep blowing it. This is insane now. I've never seen a team blow this many leads before. It's like I own a basketball. I've never seen this before. They have a game at hand, so they could possibly make more ground. But Luton, they play Palace tomorrow. They have to win that game against Palace tomorrow. They still have to play some top teams. The good news for them, while they do have to go to Arsenal away, City away, Tottenham away, those are automatic losses. But you do have some very winnable matches sprinkled in there. Brentford, Everton, Fulham at home, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace. Those are matchups they're going to have to win if they want to stay up. So you have to think about this game one at a time. They haven't won since January. Just to put that into perspective. Their only point was that 4-4 draw to Newcastle. Since then, they've lost to Sheffield, Manchester United, Liverpool, City, and Aston Villa. Which, to be fair, 3 of the top 4 they just played. Now when they play a team that's probably at their level, how do they come out and play? That's the watch for them. For Aston Villa, they dug themselves in this hole to begin with, but due to the great play of Ollie Watkins early on, and at the end, Luka Dean, he scored the winner. Beautiful run, great goal. And Aston Villa went out and won, despite the XG being pretty much level. Only I would say it's like a 0.18 difference. Luton's had on more shots. They looked all right. Their first half was so bad. If you look at the first half, let's do a comparison. Luton Town, 0.18 XG. They played so well in the second half. They only allowed 2 Aston Villa shots, but one of them was the goal that won Aston Villa the match. Aston Villa 3, Luton Town 2. Then we had Bournemouth beat Burnley. That was expected. This I kind of expected, but didn't at the same time. City 3, United 1. Now, so I take out my AirPod here. The reason I say I didn't expect it, because I didn't expect United to be leading at any point of the match. United had that early goal from Marcus Rashford, and all they can do pretty much is score banging goals and nothing else. You saw the goal from Garnacho against Everton. We all know about that Garnacho goal against Everton. But you see what he did against City, it's up there for one of the best goals of this season. Good assist from Bruno Fernandes. And then the United killers of Foden and Haaland come out of nowhere. They come out of hibernation in the second half. City went 3-1. They dominated possession. They had 3.3 to 0.25 XG. Manchester City had 27 shots. United had 3. That's just all you need to know. That's all you need to know. City dominated. That's that. Manchester Derby, it's blue, and it'll probably stay blue for a good amount of time, honestly. And now, to my territory. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 6. Now, I will not praise Arsenal as much as you would think, because they honestly should have put up 9. But listen, they had only 2.31 XG, which is really shocking. but they outshot Sheffield United 22-4. They dominated possession. They swaggered all over the field, and Arsenal went out and put 5 in the goal in the first half. Well, 4 technically. Bogle had an own goal from Sheffield United to make it 5-0. Beat goals from Odegaard and Martinelli. Kai Havertz scored again because why not? Declan Rice scored, and Ben White got the cherry on top to make it 6-0. Great game. Arsenal won 6-0. Arsenal, who, just to put this into perspective, have almost outscored Man United in 2024. That's ridiculous. They almost outscored the entire goal count of Manchester United in like 6 games. And if you think I'm lying, let's go over it then. It's ridiculous. We'll go, I think it's even, so they started it off with 5 against Palace. They only had 2 against Nottingham, 3 against Liverpool, 6 and 5 against West Ham and Burnley, 4 against Newcastle, 6 against Sheffield. They're playing another probable big-time win team. I mean, a big-time, I'm thinking a blowout again, the way they're scoring against Brentford, which sets them up for that Champions League game again. They've been in such great form, but Arsenal couldn't do it against Porto. You remember what happened in the first leg. For those who needed a reminder, they did absolutely nothing against Porto. Shots on target. Arsenal, 0. The low block of Porto dominated Arsenal. And on Tuesday afternoon, that's a possibility again. But they're playing at the Emirates. We'll talk about the Champions League later, because we'll look at the full scale of what's going on for the week in a moment. Actually, no, we're going to recap, and then we'll just talk about what's going on next week, because we have a video to record before the Champions League matchups. But Brentford is next for Arsenal. You have to imagine they go out and win big again. For Sheffield, they pretty much know they're going down. I had them in last to begin with. Burnley are shocking because Burnley are tied on points with Sheffield. I didn't know that. But due to the negative 50 goal difference of Sheffield, which I've never seen a goal difference that bad before, they are not finna getting out of the bottom unless they win like 3 games. Just saying. So, what does your Premier League calendar look like? Best Premier League matchups look like for this week? Tomorrow, we kick it off with some interesting ties. What games do I want to watch out for this week? You obviously have to watch out for what Luton has to do against Palace. We know what they have to do against Palace. You have the early morning showdown between Manchester United and Everton, two of the former big giant in Everton, and a team that's, you call a fallen giant now in Everton, and United who are just trying to stay in the European race. You have Bournemouth and Sheffield United, who, Bournemouth, they need to win. Sheffield, could it be a trap game? It's on the road at the I think it's the Vitality, right? I'm not stupid. It is the Vitality. Could it be a trap game for Bournemouth? Maybe, but I think Bournemouth should win. Luton's playing Palace. You have no idea how this game is going to go. What version of Luton are we going to see? Are we going to see second half Luton from most games at home, or are we going to see first half Luton where they do absolutely nothing? We don't know. We have another I think a snooze fest. We have Wolves and Fulham, a game I'm not expecting a lot out of either. I'm thinking Wolves win. They have so much more quality, but I think this could be a 0-0 draw possibly as well. And, of course, we have Arsenal-Brentford to round out the day. This game, I think, is going to be not that close, but it also has a chance to be close at the same time. And why I say that is because Arsenal does have a tendency in this point of the season to underestimate bad teams. Now, they ranked first in goals per match. You know they have kept a lot of clean sheets. But it's also going to be a tearful one for a lot of people who've watched this team for a good amount of last couple of years. This could be the final game in an Arsenal shirt for Aaron Ramsdale. That's the latest we've heard from this game. And it's going to make me very sad because I love Aaron Ramsdale. He should be still starting because Raya is not hasn't needed to do much recently. It was a position they didn't need to change, and now they're going to go out and try and make some money because why not? I feel really bad for Ramsdale. I always feel bad for Ramsdale because he got thrown into a horrible spot. In honor of Ramsdale, Arsenal are going to concede in the 5th minute, and then they're going to go out and win 4-1. That's my prediction. Done. Sunday is where the fun stuff is. And no, I am not talking about Brighton and Nottingham Forest, which is a trap game for Brighton, in all fairness, or West Ham Burnley. We have an incredible doubleheader, kicking it off with Aston Villa and Tottenham. Hoo boy, this will be fun. If you look at Aston Villa's recent form, they've won their last 3 against Tottenham. Tottenham haven't kept a clean sheet in a while, but Heung-min Son has been great in the competition all year. He's a guy who people know that can create chances off the wing. They also score a lot, but like I said a couple seconds ago, they haven't kept a clean sheet in a while. I think that continues. I am going with Aston Villa 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Aston Villa have played too well to probably not win this. Now, granted, they have a couple of big injuries, Aston Villa. You talk about Kamara, Emi Buendia, Ramsey, Duran. They have a couple of big injuries. Not really as many. I mean, the only main injury for Tottenham is going to be Richarlison, who is likely out till mid-March. So I don't know what team we're going to see on the field, but I'm expecting Aston Villa to win. A lot of people are siding with Tottenham on FootMob for voting. I don't see that with the way Aston Villa plays at home. I am going with Aston Villa. And then we have Liverpool and City on Sunday. Now, there's part of me that, of course, wants Man City to win. But really, if you're a fan of Arsenal, you need this to be a draw and an Arsenal to win. And if Arsenal doesn't win and Liverpool wins, it's likely over for Arsenal. Let me explain why. Now, while Liverpool has a ton of key injuries, Alisson, Jota, Curtis Jones, Gomez, Matip, who's out for the season, Gravenberch, Trent, they're still winning at a high level. They're still playing great. They won the Carabao Cup. They know what they're doing. This Liverpool team will not be stopped. On the opposite side, there's no Doku, Grealish. Matias Nunes got hurt last week. It was really sad for Matias Nunes. Both of these teams have been playing out of their minds. The only difference is that City has one more loss, and Liverpool, who are 19-6-2, 19 wins, 6 draws, 2 losses. Man City is 19 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses. So, of course, you have Salah on one side, you have Erling Haaland on the other, 2-2 draw at Anfield. I think Man City are going to rise to the occasion, which is going to help out and make this title race even better. With a draw and an Arsenal win, this is not my bias for Arsenal. I shouldn't have any bias for Arsenal. I'm a show host. I shouldn't have bias. Arsenal with a win would put them up to 20 wins on the season and put them tied at the top with, I believe, 7. There's still a lot of games to go. I mean, there's about 2 months left in the season. There's still a lot of games to be played. A lot of fans are going to want this to turn out to be a draw. I'm going to side with draw here. The way this game can go, you really want there to be a winner, but with the way Haaland and Salah can score, Haaland 18 goals, Salah 15 goals. Their XGs have been through the roof for both of them. Even the fact that Salah's outscoring is actually all granted by 0.2 is still a significant fact. And then we have Monday, we have Chelsea and Newcastle. I'm saying this is a Chelsea win. Newcastle have been really sliding. They've only won 2 of their last 5. But Chelsea haven't kept a clean sheet in a while. I'm going with 3-1 Chelsea victory. I think Newcastle scores early on, but Cole Palmer is going to have a day. I'm expecting him to go out and get a big 3 points to be the big reason that Chelsea go out and earn a very needed 3 points. And now we'll just talk to you about last week's Champions League matchups this week's Champions League matchups and some breaking news from earlier in the week from the Champions League. To start us off, we had a result that absolutely no one wanted, yet did want at the same time. It's Bayern 3, Lazio 0. Bayern was the better team. They ran Lazio off the field. It was 3.57 xG. Lazio was never in the match. It's 24 shots to 5. Bayern played like Bayern. They went out and made a statement. And they needed to make a statement because if they are falling behind in the Bundesliga and you're playing against a Lazio team with one of, I would say, the most controversial fan bases in the game for how much, I mean, here's your homework. For those who like doing research, just for the sake of it, go research Lazio's supporter group. You'll see why it's controversial. Then, I don't hate Lazio. I like the players. Their fans, I don't like their fans. And it's a political standpoint. Just saying. But Lazio's fans have been in the news too much. They've done too many wrong things. You can research on that. And then we have PSG and Sociedad. Now, I'm going to bring you up. This is going to be really fun. We're going to go back to before the game started. Because for a guy who loves history and a guy who did not get to watch this game until seeing the highlights, didn't really know about this fact until the game ended and a video came out by shout out to Zealand. He made a great video on his second channel about the history of the tifo that was shown by the Real Sociedad supporters. I'm going to have to pull up on my phone because the Wi-Fi right now is very slow. It does happen sometimes here. We are a college campus. So the tifo, which for those who don't know what a tifo is, just to give it what a tifo is, it's like basically like, you know, when if you're watching soccer and some teams have like that big banner, like it's like absolutely massive behind their goal like before the match starts. Marseille does it a lot. You see that a lot in the French leagues, German leagues, Spain. You see it everywhere. But the one I'm looking at is the standpoint behind it is from before Christopher Columbus. And I believe it has to do with a person. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I just read about this person, I believe, in my history of violence class. So we're talking about the former Roman Emperor Charlemagne. And we go to Charlemagne. We talk about Charlemagne. And there was a battle in, what was it, 770 something? I don't remember the exact year of it. And it was the Sociedad. For those who don't know Real Sociedad, it's like the northeast part of Spain. They have like a different language. In that regions, I forget, it starts with a B. I forgot what the region's called. But Athletic, one of the, I think it's Athletic Bilbao, who only takes players in that certain region. That's who's around there too. They have like a different language. It's like crazy. They held up a banner from a battle in 770 something, which is like 400 plus years before Columbus. This is like an insane time period. It's like the mid 770 something, 780s. I don't even remember what the exact year was. I don't know the full history behind it. But there was a banner showing a battle with Charlemagne. And we're just going to look at the photo now. And it's absolutely crazy. It's like PSG being portrayed as like invaders who got, like, I don't know. It's like people getting tramped in battle from a battle in like 780 something. So history, go research on it if you want to. Following this, PSG beat Sociedad on aggregate 4-1. PSG is through to the knockouts, and we'll now talk about soccer once again and not about another history lesson. On Wednesday, we almost had a shocker. Man City beat Copenhagen. No shock to anyone. on Wednesday. Man City did Man City things. They went out and ran Copenhagen off the field. The concern was in the other match because Real Madrid struggled with RB Leipzig at the Bernabeu. It was 1-0 on aggregate. Leipzig were having chances, but then the thing that no one wanted to happen, Real Madrid scored. Vinicius Jr. scored. Him and Bellingham have been in the news a lot lately for an incident in Spain. I think I might be able to talk about it at the end of the video. Willie Orban equalized immediately, and we had a game on our hands. Unfortunately, it was not enough. Real Madrid is through to the next round of the Champions League knockouts. So we have our first 4 teams in. Bayern, PSG, Manchester City, Real Madrid. The big guns are through. Now, just to give you a quick heads up, we have more Champions League coverage on Tuesday. It's Arsenal-Porto, Barcelona-Napoli. On Wednesday, it's Atletico Madrid against Inter Milan, Dortmund, PSV. 4 completely different matchups than we saw the big teams make it through. The others, it's really anyone's game. It's really fun, but what isn't fun is the Champions League. They're changing their format. Now, let me explain how this is going to work, because I have done a ton of research on this. You know how there's 32 teams, and it's 8 groups of 4. It's really cool. It's like the World Cup of club teams in Europe. That's changing. Instead of 32 teams, it's now 36. And it's now put into a giant table, standings set. I think that's not even the right word for that. But a big table, and teams will now play, instead of 6 games, they'll be playing 8 league matches. They made it like a league format, where you get drawn. There's still 4 pots with 9 teams, and teams will be playing 2 matches against a team from each pot. I think that's what I believe it was when I read it. And the top, 8? The top 8 or so. I have to figure this out again. You would think with how much. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was terrible. So let's explain. Let's pull it up again on my phone. So the new format, teams will play 8 matches in the new league phase. I was right. They will no longer play 3. They'll play 8 matches, half home, half away. So we have like the new allocations for spots. It'll be based on like coefficients or whatever. The knockouts. I was about to say I was right when I said it. The top 8 of the 36 are through to the round of 16. Congratulations, you've made it to the next round. The next 16 teams from 9th to 24th will play in the first knockout round. Okay? So we'll have that playoff round, which then would lead into the round of 16. 25th to 36th are thrown in the trash. They are eliminated. There is no more teams getting relegated to the Europa League. They're all their own separate competition. So, yeah, that's in the round of 16 onwards. It's like the regular Champions League. So, Europa League and the Europa Conference League will be doing the same. So, do I like this format? Not really. The reason I say not really, because I like that there's more games. What I don't like is that they changed a format that they didn't really need to change. This is a whole money game. It's what it is. It's what it is. Because there's no reason to change one of the best things about your tournament to begin with. I don't want to see another league phase. I want to see teams thrown into groups, play against the best teams, the best play the best in your group. You go out, you get the draw you get, you don't get upset, you go out, you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, lose to the teams you're supposed to lose, which makes it sound like the league, but it's not. You're only playing 6 games. You get to balance it out with your schedule more. You go to the knockouts, you do your thing. It didn't need to be changed. It's stupid. I hate it. On the other side, though, it makes each tournament its own separate thing. That's the one thing I like about it. Because relegated teams from the Champions League going to the Europa League usually leads to the Europa League teams getting their butt kicked. That actually hasn't happened this year, and I kind of like that. Shout out to teams like Roma. Liverpool's still in Europa League when they should be in the Champions League, but due to last season's insanity, they were in 5th, and they're in the Europa League. They're going to probably win it. Unless like Roma or something. I don't know who's left. Leverkusen, maybe? I don't know. By the way, Leverkusen, if you've paid attention, they've been unbeaten all year. They drew the Quarbog. I think that's who they drew to. 2-2, and they needed like a 90-something minute winner to do it. So, Leverkusen vulnerable towards the end of the season in the Bundesliga? Or in the Europa League? Will they lose a match? Find out on another future episode. But yeah, right now, the Champions League, Europa Conference League, Europa League, they all go to this new format. I'm excited, disappointed. It's like a whole mix of emotions. It's kind of like the pots what they do for the champion, or pots for one of the tournaments. It's like when you have all the balls and you put them into the pot, and you roll them around, and you take them out, and you open the ball, and it has a name. When you take the ball out and it reveals the name, instead, that's an emotion I have, because it could be any one of those 8 emotions every time that one of these teams will touch the field. It's just the way that it is. It will probably change every single day. But they changed something that they didn't need to be changed. I don't like it. Yeah, I kind of do, because it makes each tournament separate. I'm done talking about this, because I can make a million references about this all day. But there's one other thing that I need to bring up, and this is from my officiating perspective, because I got asked about this a couple of times, about the ending with, I think it was Real Madrid. Was it Real Madrid Valencia? Hold on, I'm going to type this in and make sure I'm right. You want to be correct with all this stuff, So, yes, it was a 2-2 draw with Valencia. Now, just what happened, Real Madrid, from what I remember, were in an attacking phase. They had the ball in the corner. Someone was about to deliver a cross, and then the ref ended the match. Now, I'm going to go rewatch explain what happened as I'm watching this video. Feel free to watch the video. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's basically everywhere. Now, the ball is on the wing. It's whipped into the box. Referee blew the whistle before the cross happened. The cross goes up. First whistle happened when the ball was kicked. The second one was when the ball was in the box. So then Real Madrid scored. They think they've won it. Referee ended the match. Players now surrounding. The first player to actually approach the ref was a Valencia player, asking, pretty much saying, like, what the hell happened? Carvajal, I thought they were going to suspend Carvajal because he looked like he almost pushed the referee. But Vinicius is in his face. There's a couple other players. Valencia manager doesn't know what happened. Real Madrid keeper is there. No one knows what's going on. It's insanity. Then Jude Bellingham gets a red, which is actually funny because Jude Bellingham did nothing. I thought they should have suspended Vinicius, but they suspended Bellingham because just to make it even more controversial. There's a whole surrounding of the referee. I thought the Real Madrid keeper, if you look at it, could have been sent off too. But in real reality, what happened? It's controversial. It's disappointing from every perspective. The Real Madrid players, they have the right to react, but you do it in a better This is from my referee perspective, because this is my problem with the game. when you have young kids will know, 7-year-olds will probably know that that call was wrong. And I do agree that that call was wrong. However, at the end of the day, human error will always be in the game of soccer. You will never have robot officials. Because if you have robot officials, the calls will still be wrong. Like, just take that, engrave that into your mind. There will never be a change in soccer officiating of referees in the middle for at least probably the next 30 years. Minimum 30. They'll probably be until the end of my broadcasting lifetime, which hopefully that's to like I'm 75. But my problem is that there's been so many rule changes and so much other ridiculousness that doesn't need to be changed, and yet they've changed it. We talked about that a couple weeks ago with the blue cards that are now not going to happen, and yet they happen again. And I was looking through my ref catalog so I could buy stuff for the next season because my ref season starts next week. And blue cards could be bought for $2. It's stupid. Why are they even there? Okay, I'm done ranting about that part. But in all seriousness, the call was wrong. You don't go into the face of the referee. Like, Carvajal should have been sent off immediately for dissent. Like, that's a no-brainer. Bellingham was the wrong person to suspend to begin with. It should have been Vinicius. It should have been Carvajal, the goalkeeper. You could have suspended so many people. They chose Bellingham. Why? Why? Like, I don't get it. La Liga screwed up. Typical of La Liga at this point after what happened with Barcelona. I mean, is it the standard? Is it like what Mike Tomlin says, the standard is the standard? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that were wrong in the end of that match. I'm not condoning the ref. I'm not saying, oh, the referee can make mistakes. Oh, let's not clown the referee. You can clown the referee if you want to. I can't control any of you that watch this video. But at the end of the day, we know the call is wrong. We all know it. But it has to be, I think, a better reaction by the. It's a slightly better reaction. I'm not gonna say completely better. I should not say that they should shake hands off the jump with the referee and leave. There's no way they're gonna overturn the result. The match ended, and what happened happened. It's disappointing as a referee to see stuff like that. Professionals at the highest level making that sort of error. You only see that sort of error in like U10 games. Like, worse games than I ref, personally. Like, it's insane. I don't know how this type of stuff happens. The League of Referees. I mean, we all know now. It was basically a statement that referees need to figure it out. And on that note, as we all try to figure out what happens next in this saga of poor officiating in the higher leagues, I'll leave you on that note that stuff needs to be figured out, and we'll see what happens in the future. And on that note, that'll be the end of today's episode of the Robbie Basel Show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. On that note, I'm Robbie Basel saying so long. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everyone.